Hey everybody, it's Emily from ARG Schooling, and today I'm going to talk about how we do Shakespeare in our homeschool. So I tend to follow the Charlotte Mason ideology of introducing Shakespeare to younger children. I usually start around the age of 10. I think the best way to do it is to introduce a retelling first. So I have Leonard Garfield, not Leonard, I always want to call him Leonard. I have Leon Garfield's Shakespeare Stories, a really gorgeous book. It has many of the plays in it. I think there's 2 volumes, we only have the first one though. And yeah, this has Twelfth Night, King Lear, The Tempest, The Merchant of Venice, The Taming of the Shrew, King Richard II, King Henry IV Part 1, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Othello, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Macbeth. So we'll read a story from here, and these retellings are really good because they include a lot of the actual language from quotes right from the dialogue of the play, so that you're getting introduced to the sound of Shakespearean language as you're studying it. And so we read this first, and we usually read it over the course of a few days. We take it in chunks, so that we can really think on what we're reading, and we'll narrate these. And sometimes we will make a chart with the characters, or make a poster, or sometimes we make little puppets with simple like popsicle sticks and just the face, or whatever. And whatever makes my children get the character, you know. And so we'll do that, and we'll kind of play around with doing different scenes with the puppets and that sort of thing, just to make sure that they really understood who the characters are, because that can be a really confusing part. And once they've gotten the story and they know what happens and they know the plot, then we'll tackle the actual play. So I really like the No Fear Shakespeare series. On the left side of the page of the series, they have the actual Shakespearean language, but on the right side, they have it sort of retold in modern language. So, for example, I'll give you just a quote. Zanio says, "I know thee well, thou hast obtained thy suit. Shylock thy master spoke with me this day, and hath preferred thee, if it be preferment, to leave a rich Jew's service to become the follower of so poor a gentleman." And then on the other side of the page, they have the modern retelling, which is, "I know who you are. You can have what you want. I spoke with your master Shylock today, and he recommended you to me. If you want to leave a rich Jew to work for a poor gentleman, you're welcome to." So it just makes it easier to understand. So some of the passages are easy enough to figure out on your own, but when you get to something complicated, it can be nice to have that modern retelling to make it make sense. So I really appreciate that. And often I will read the whole play out loud, and I'll do the voices and everything to make them different. And you know, I'm just a nerd, and I really like to act out stuff. But sometimes we'll pass it back and forth and take parts. It depends on how my kids are comfortable with the reading and what characters they feel called to perform. But most of the time it's me, my one-man show. And so we'll read it together, and we'll again do it pretty slowly. We'll take it over the course of several weeks, and especially when they're still young. With my older kids now, we can go through a play much faster because they are used to it and they can follow a lot better. But for a young child, for a 10-year-old, we'll go really slow and take it pretty much like 6 weeks to do a whole play, and that's including the retelling first and then the play. And so then as we're reading the play, sometimes we'll use those puppets if we've made puppets, and we'll get them out, kind of aid in our reading of the actual play. And of course, finally, we like to try to watch it. And if you are lucky enough to be able to catch a live theater performance of Shakespeare, then by all means do so. That's how it's meant to be seen. Shakespeare's plays were meant to be watched, not read. So if you can get to a live performance of a play, then that is the best way to experience Shakespeare. If not, there are many movies available. Check your Netflix. I would advise watching them first because not all of them are really child appropriate. There can be scenes, like for example in Hamlet, the Kenneth Branagh version. It's a beautiful movie, but not for young children. It's a little bit intense, and there's also, I want to say, some nude scenes. And again, like the Midsummer Night's Dream that came out in 1999, I believe, with Michelle Pfeiffer version of A Midsummer Night's Dream is fun, but it's, again, not really the most appropriate for young children. But I would recommend, if you're going to watch a play and you want to watch it in a movie format, the older the better, because they tend to, some of them are live stage performances that were filmed, and some of them are just more appropriate for younger children, because back then they just didn't include a lot of the nudity and stuff in it. So yeah, definitely try to watch it after you've read it, because again, Shakespeare's meant to be watched. So always try to see the play in whatever format you can. And so yeah, that is how we do Shakespeare. I don't require a lot of narrating from Shakespeare because it's already difficult enough. Mostly we talk about it just sort of in discussion, like, why do you think this character is behaving that way? What would you do if you were that character? That kind of stuff, just to get them thinking about the play without making them narrate. Because again, Shakespeare's hard, and I don't expect them to like be able to retell it that well. Although my oldest has occasionally rewritten plays in like a picture book format, so that's a great way to get a retelling, a narration in a way that it was sort of sneaky, but not really, because she just likes to retell stories. And so yeah, that's a great way to get a narration if you really want one. But I don't generally require it for Shakespeare. So that is how we do Shakespeare in our homeschool. Have you ever done a Shakespeare play? What was your favorite? I think our favorite play that we've done to date has got to be Midsummer Night's Dream. I don't know, I think I've done that one a couple of times now, and I think that's always been the favorite. Although we did get a lot of enjoyment from Macbeth. My boys, I think that appealed to them the most. Their favorite thing from A Midsummer Night's Dream was, you know, Bottom had a donkey head. They thought Bottom was hilarious. And that was like the highlight of the play. But yeah, I think Macbeth for boys is a definite win. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye!